Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing my favorite books, and I just get right into it, I guess. I have 10 books that I'm going to do for my favorites. I read a lot, and I used to read a lot when I was little too, so I added those up. So I'm going to start with Number the Stars. I read this when I was in middle school, I think. It went along with what we were learning in history, and it's about a 10-year-old little Jewish girl and her best friend who's not Jewish, and her best friend, her family took in this little girl so that, to keep her safe and stuff, and they went out of the country, and it's like a really good story. It's a little sad, but nobody, a couple people died, but it's not like they died before. They didn't die in the book. And both little girls make it out safe, so I don't know if that's too much spoilers for you. And then I have Deep and Dark and Dangerous by Mary Downing-Hand. Oh, also this is by Lowry. Mary Downing-Hand, Deep and Dark and Dangerous. This is like a ghost story, and I read this, I think in middle school again, probably like 6th or 7th grade. I was really into like scary ghost stories, and then I watch the X-Files now, so like it's moved from books to shows. And then I like The Host by Stephanie Meyer. I feel like a lot of people dish on Stephanie Meyer because of Twilight. And honestly, I like Twilight a lot too. I read them when I was little, younger than now. But they're really good books, so don't dish on them. Read them before, if you read it and then you're like, oh, I hated it, then that's okay. But if you're just like, oh, Twilight, then that's not cool. So I read Twilight, and then I was out of books, and my godmother, she bought me this when I was in Europe, and it was in English because I needed a book to read in English. And I read it in a week flat. It was really good. It's kind of sci-fi. Think X-Files meets modern life. I don't know. Kind of like that. It's really good. And the movie came out a while ago. The movie was alright. The book's better. The book's almost always better. Girl Stolen, a novel by April Henry. This is a really fast read. It's got 200 pages. And maybe for if you don't read, then for you that's not a fast read, but for me this, I could probably read this in a day. This, if I'm reading constantly, will take me a week, so I like to read fast. And this one's really good. It's about this girl. She's 16-year-old Cheyenne, and she's she went blind in an accident, and she was kidnapped. This is really interesting. One of my really favorites. I got this for my birthday. It's called The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, and it's so good. It's it's set obviously in ancient times, in the Greeks and stuff, and it's just action, adventure, friendship, relationships, all this, and it gives you a really in-depth look on what was going on in the Greeks. If you have to read the Iliad, then I suggest reading this, because this is really good, and it's basically explaining why Achilles was all really pissed off when Patroclus was killed. So City of the Beast by Isabelle Allende. This is a Spanish author. This is the English translation. I think she's a Spanish author, and it's a really good book. It's about a 15-year-old boy named Alexander, and him and his grandmother go to the Amazon on a trip because she's international. He goes on an international geographic expedition, and it's really good, kind of action adventure, also a little sci-fi. It goes a lot into the City of Gold, so kind of connects to that. It's really cool. And then this is also really good. I can't talk. This is also a really good book. It's called Till We Have Faces by C.S. Lewis, and C.S. Lewis is amazing. I read the Narnia series when I was a kid, and then my mom had this on her shelf, and I was like, oh my god, can I have this? And I read it, and it's great. And then occasionally, I don't really I'm more of a fiction person, or historical fiction, but I did read this one, and it's non-fiction, and it's called Dewey. I don't know if you read it. It's about cats. I was obsessed with cats, so I had cat encyclopedias and cat dictionaries, and I was that cat girl. They were having the dragon kids. So the cat girl, and it's about this kitten that was found in a library, and the library kept it, and the author is the librarian there or one of them. I think there's like 2 or 3. And she talks about her life story and how the cat Dewey like helped her and stuff. It's by Vicki, Myron, and it's a New York Times bestseller, #1. So you should read it. It's really cute. Okay, historical fiction. This is The Diviners by Libba Bray. She is one of my all-time favorite authors, especially because like her books are pretty thick, so I can like read it and not be like, oh my god, like I'm gonna run out of book, but like I get to read and stuff. It's called The Diviners by Libba Bray. Say that again. And it's set in the 1920s. It's Evie O'Neill, and she has magic powers basically, but they're not really magic powers. She's a diviner, like she's divine. I don't know. It's really cool though because it's set in the 1920s and like during Prohibition and stuff. And there's a lot of like different characters, and it's very diverse. There's Memphis, who is a black. He runs like numbers and stuff for like bets in Harlem, and then there's Theta Knight, who is she's got like black hair, and she comes from like a different different background and stuff. Evie O'Neill, she's like the little rich blonde girl, and there's Jericho and her uncle, and it's just a really like diverse characters, and it really goes into those characters. It's not always narrated. I think it's 3rd person, so it's not from like her point of view. So it's kind of like written like Harry Potter. I also love Harry Potter, but you know that's kind of like an obvious. I wasn't gonna like make it one of my favorites because there's 7 of them. And my all-time favorite book, it's called The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafon, and he is a Spanish author. This is a book translated in English, published in 2001, and it's about a boy who lives in Barcelona right after the Civil War. His mother died, and his father has to take care of him, and they run a little bookshop, and he finds this book. And he likes this book so much he reads it like in one night, doesn't sleep, which is like, I was like, me, I can do that. And he reads the book, and he wants to read more about this author, and he goes into some research to find more about the author, and he finds out that all the books by this author have been burned. So he goes into like this whole like adventure almost to find out like what happened to his book. And you do find out what happened, and you find out the author's life story and what happens, and it's a really, really good book. If you like mysteries, kind of, I suggest this one. So I think I have covered my top 10 favorite books are like from a lot of different genres, you know, fiction, nonfiction, biographies, all this. So you can like choose one and read. I honestly suggest reading all of them because they're really, really good, but you do what you want to do. I'm not going to force you. So yeah. Thanks for watching.